Oh, yeah, it's working. Swear, put it right here. Oh, yeah, it's working. Swear, put it right here. Hello there. I am so bad with technology. I should be on one of those like shows or something where they spoof on people and I'd be like, no, I did it myself. Um, Welcome to Real Talk with angry, very, very terrible with technology soccer mom. Okay, my kids don't play soccer, but hey, welcome to the show. If you are there, please say hello. I'm going to get started in just a minute. I'm going to have a short show tonight. So, 1 second. Let me get situated and let's get started. First of all, welcome to Real Talk with Angry Soccer Mom. That's supposed to be me. I'm not angry. I'm kind of, this is surreal what we're doing, people. More, my anger has passed. No, I'm angry. You know what? People say, why are you angry? I'm like, because this isn't the kind of world that I was counting on. Yes, I'm spoiled. My privilege is talking. I don't want to see a world where my neighbors die of something that's curable. I don't want to see a world where my neighbors, because they're black, are treated like a piece of shit by people. No, I'm sorry. I don't want that world. It's not what I wanted for kids. I mean, would you bring kids into this thing? If no. So anyway, yeah, I'm angry and I think it's very justifiably so. I can't stand seeing my fellow humans treated like a piece of shit. So there we are. That's what makes me angry. So welcome to the show. This is a live show discussion where your participation is imperative. Less I talk, the better. The show discussion topics, as always, unless we have a special guest, include anything you feel. Harper, yay, welcome. Anything you feel is newsworthy about racism, bigotry, inequality, and corruption in America, which that's kind of everything, to be honest. So you can talk about almost anything you wish. The show is meant to be an opportunity. Team, hello, yay, good to have you. Meant to be an opportunity for viewers to speak their mind and serve as an educational tool and cultural competency with a focus on learning the truth about systemic racism in America. The goal is for white folks to listen and learn and educate themselves, find their voice, see, begin living in the real world, no offense, of course, and see our culture and our world's culture as it really is, and quit living a lie. Just stop living a lie. It's not good for anybody. And then find your voice and get your butt out there and teach other white people, because it is not the responsibility of Black, Brown, or Indigenous people, African Americans, to teach us how to act human. All right. And I must sound a little harsh, but I will meet anyone where they're at, as long as they're willing to learn. So, welcome to the show. Some quick announcements, and then we will get started. And anything you want to talk about that's important to you, just bring it up. There's just so much going on, I can never keep up. So I try. I want to thank everybody who sends me breaking news. It's really tough to keep up with breaking news. I appreciate it very much. And if you want to send me breaking news, I will be incredibly thankful. And this is where you send it. Or if you just want to say hi, or you want to schedule an interview, or you just want to talk to somebody. It's what I do. Harper, racists will never get their damn heads out of the something to act right. I'm gonna say sand. That was supposed to be just a guess. And yeah, it's frustrating, huh? It's really frustrating. I cannot imagine how non-white folks are feeling, and immigrants, and my God, my people who are DACA recipients, and just everybody. This is crazy. I think we all thought we got rid of and that was kind of like the best possible scenario, but lo and behold, the GOP can't seem to stop clinging to him. He is running half our country. My God help us. That's all I can say. So yes. Don't know where the S is. That's okay. No problem. It's my life. It's what happens to me every day. So welcome everybody. If you want to call in after my rant, here's the number. And please feel free to do so. I want to get crystal clear. This is an educational show. It's not a debate forum. I've been extremely thrilled to be getting tons and tons of new subscribers to my YouTube channel, which is like a dream come true. That makes me incredibly happy. If you go on my Angry Soccer Mom Facebook page, you'll see threads that are hundreds and hundreds of conversations long from people trying to talk about all this. And for the most part, everybody is amazing and educated and willing to learn. And then there's a couple people who are like, Ronald, yay, thanks for being here. Welcome. There's a couple people who are like, just come on because I don't know why. Can you guys tell me? Maybe answer this question. Oh, you're out of it, Harvard. It's okay. Welcome to the club. I am too. It's a lifestyle. But I want to know. Thank you, T. I'm just beyond thrilled. And it's kind of funny because when it slows down, I'm like, oh, and it's a lot of my old videos. So I'm just like crazed, happy to get more people. So Harper. Mitch McConnell needs to stop acting like majority leader. Schumer needs to grow a pair. Yeah, it's, we've talked about that before, and I totally get what you're saying. Mitch is, oh my God, he's entitled. It's unbelievable. Pat, welcome. Yay, nice to have you. Welcome. He's the poster child for white supremacist, just absolutely entitled, wealthiest elite, you name it. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be rude, but he's unbelievable. You never know what folks will latch on to. Right, I know. And he's especially annoying. Have you guys ever thought about this? And I know right now, I know exactly. It's a strange thing. Somebody once told me, you can't play fair with someone who's absolutely corrupt. Hey, good to have you back, Pat. You can't play fair with someone who's absolutely corrupt. And I always have tried to play fair. And I'm starting to think that maybe that's actually true and that they need some taste of their own medicine. And they spew out the propaganda like it's going out of style. And we're sweet and darling and nice. And I am not for 1 minute saying that the, Democrats are doing too much better than the GOP. But here's the thing. The GOP is just fucking evil. Okay, let's be real. I think there are a portion of Democrats, maybe the progressive ones, who are so over this and they want to, they call it progressive, but anywhere else they'd call it normal. America does not quite get what progressive means, I think. Just kind of saying. So anyway, I think that it's got to be the better. Okay, the man wants to be a dictator. The GOP is going with it. Okay, so I'm going to say I didn't vote for. I didn't want Biden as my first choice, but I got to say, let's be real. He's better than we don't have a lot of good choices. We need huge amounts of change, and I guess what I'm trying to say, I'll just say it. I'm just blabbing on and on. Harper is. We got what you said. They need to grow a pair and they need to start doing what it takes and stop being sweet and darling about this. We're going to lose our democratic republic if it's not already too late. And I know we call it an oligarchy, call it what you want, but when too many people are above the law, that sets some precedent. So I don't trust any of them. Yeah. No, Pat, I know. I don't either, but I sure as heck believe that another minute of I don't know what to say his name would have been a for sure thing. Like, bye, everyone, get an exit plan because this nation's going down. And I still think that could be the case. But anyway, enough about me being the soothsayer of doom. No one needs to hear that. I think everyone's kind of sick of it. This week, I put up some videos. I put up a video on how imperative it is that Trump be prosecuted and be held accountable for his crimes. Harper, the Dems need to stop playing nice. Exactly. I did a video on the almost 400 bills that have been created to stop voting rights in America. That's surreal to me. Oh my God. Yes, you heard it right. To stop voting rights. And that's what Republicans do, and what I don't want to call them Republicans because parties have switched. That's what far right people do, because they apparently know that they are not going to get, if everybody was allowed to vote, they would, as I think it was Trump that said it, never have another Republican in office again. Or if I'm misquoting, he probably thought it. I know somebody said that. Many people have said that, and it's true. He slipped it. Oops, because he can't keep his mouth shut. I did a video on that, and it's really important. And Stacey Abrams has a campaign, and obviously it didn't work. There's the GOP is not, they're not. Let's just say the Constitution and their fellow humans don't seem to be their number one priority. Power is their number one priority. Machiavellian, win at all costs. I truly believe they've forgotten their oath to the Constitution of the United States of America, and they've definitely forgotten the preamble part. Form a more perfect union, this and that. No. They don't want to. They want to form a more perfect life for themselves and more power, wealth, and prestige. And it's goddamn disgusting. And it's, my God, it's like they're unstoppable. And yes, we need the Dems to stop playing nice and being sweet and darling. Anyway, I posted another video this week about it was a Roland Martin video, and he debunks some misinformation. And I rarely do this because enough people do this on purpose, is to pit two Black people against each other purposely and spotlight them, because that's what people are cruel enough and do all that. And so I rarely do this, but this time Roland had a lot of good points. I wanted to see the other side. Clearly he did too. And everyone is allowed to have their opinion. And this woman's opinion was basically directly from the GOP. Roland was hardcore with her. She didn't understand what critical race theory was. She talked about how against critical race theory she was. She was talking about her own child, and it was just, it was a hot mess. It was horrible. I thought he was kind of mean to her, but I mean, I don't blame him. If only I had that, in me. I can't be that mean, but he wasn't really mean. He was just factual, and she was misinformed. She was like any other. People need to understand, and I know people watching today right now do, but we're indoctrinated into this society, indoctrinated at birth as a little baby. Okay, I'm a little old. This is going to age me, but you look up, gaga goo goo, I just got born. And what do you see? Lo and behold, you see male white doctors. That's good Lord me. You see some white nurses, and you see some brown and Black people who are cleaning the place and serving food. And yes, that's a stereotype, but so help me, that is how it was when I was born. Okay. I don't want to age myself here, but I'm not joking. And that is the immediate indoctrination. And it just goes from there. White is right. White is right. So it's not just white people who are indoctrinated. Let's say you have parents who just say, they're just rude and they don't explain it to you. Or let's say you have parents who, just don't tell you how to handle it. You can get indoctrinated. Let's say you have parents who believe it too. I don't know. Harper, I saw that interview. She really showed her ignorance. I was shocked. I found it to be extremely sad because she has been sucked in to white supremacy, as far as I can tell. And if anybody else has other comments, bring it on, because I don't know better than people who are living this. But it was horrible. It was horrible. It was horrible. I'll go on. Another video I posted was I thought about this. Okay, can I just be real here? Yes, that's what I'm supposed to do. I watched this 4 times and it was so teary. It was like bittersweet, beautiful moment. It was the first time I saw live video footage and they put it in color, real footage of Black Wall Street at its prime. And it was a video that somebody had found and it was supposedly hidden for 50 years. I don't know. It was out about a month ago and I found it a week ago and I could have watched it 50 times. It was the way life was supposed to be. It's like, what went wrong? My God, because it was just amazing. So it was real footage, a video of actually the person who started Black Wall Street, who started, the Greenwood area in Tulsa and the Greenwood district. And it was amazing. Harper, she truly didn't understand. And I actually felt so, I think so. And she was being schooled and it was probably humiliating. I mean, it's humiliating to get schooled in front of the world. And I think that's why she left. I don't know. It's just really tough. It's a tough thing because there's feelings, how we feel about something. And then there's facts. And the two, groups are going this way. You're supposed to kind of combine them and use your critical thinking skills. But because of the indoctrination and because we're in a post-truth era. Harper, I saw that Black Wall Street. It was amazing. Yeah, I lost myself. Okay, it sounds stupid, but you know what? I'm kind of a nerd. I watched it 4 times back to back. It's only like a minute or so. And in my head, I imagined there was a place that wasn't like this sick culture. Like I imagined that there was a place that real people lived and actually cared about each other and actually helped each other. And yes, I know I'm in a fantasy and there's always problems, but like, God, what went wrong? Well, don't answer that. I know what went wrong. I mean, at least a little bit. And it's just, Ramses, welcome. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Yay. So it's just, I sat there and I just imagined in my head, this life could be so different. Life could be so nice. Life could be just problems, but not this, not a problem that isn't a problem. It's a made up problem. It's a human construct. If everybody, it's like money. If we all decided it was worth nothing, then money's gone. If we all decided that we're all freaking humans and to treat each other as such, that's all we have to do. But there are people who won't do it. And apparently they're winning because it's like I need to say. So that video was just, I didn't even get that many hits on it. And I was just like, why? It was amazing. So anyway, that's me. I'm always like, I don't get what's going on. But anyway, it was amazing. Another video I posted up suggested that Tulsa might be the first place in America to get reparations. And I don't use the R word lightly, but it showed all the way from long ago and what white people did out of absolute jealousy and evil rage to Black Wall Street. And it went all the way up to today and what's going on. A week or so back, there was a, people came and testified before Congress, and the very, very elderly people who actually lived this, they, as little children, they escaped and they had their life torn apart. They were in school. It was like they were well-to-do. And if you look at that video, you can tell they had like the first cars. The guy had the first video recorder. I mean, they were well off and they were thriving. And not everyone there was thriving, I know that, but money supposedly stayed in there. Like it exchanged hands. Was it 18 times? I can't remember the stat, so I won't lie. I thought it was like a ridiculous amount of times. It was, but nope, we couldn't have that. So I don't want to get all emotional. So I posted the video also this week of somebody a man in Hawaii. I don't know if you guys saw that. It just killed me. Mistakes were made everywhere, but it was an accident. Like he went to the wrong address and some woman there went ballistic and started acting like he's just standing there. He's like doing nothing wrong. He has no weapon. He's not yelling. He's not. And she went crazy. To go to such great lengths to keep a group of people from being successful. Yeah, it's true evil. I'm not mean biblically evil. I mean it's just fucking evil. I'm sorry, like evil non-biblically. Just I don't get it. It's unconscionable. And I just had like a fight with somebody online, and I rarely fight with people online because I just kind of like, I don't know, a fight, but they were saying it's genetic. It's the genetic propensity for white people to keep their. I'm like, sorry, it's called. We are indoctrinated. I'm a sociologist at heart, so of course, if something's genetic, I get it, and some things are genetic. But excuse me, racism? No, that is so freaking learned. It is not even funny. Jose, welcome. I'm happy to have you here. But I'm sorry, nothing will convince me. I mean, that is just ridiculous. It is, evil is evil. Yeah, just absolutely unconscionable. And that's why you'll hear me saying a lot of times, it's time for white America to start acting like humans. And what I mean by that is, we are gifted with this amazing thing called critical thinking. So we are able to do and analyze things. We're able to be very afraid, but not strike out and murder someone. Very afraid, but not knife someone. We can think and we can feel things and say, that's not logical. Or, you know what, this doesn't make sense. So let's use those skills and apply them because it's a gift. And I feel like half of freaking America is using those. Pat from, let me see. Oh, Pat, you did send me something. I did not get to look at it yet, but I've been so incredibly busy I'm finishing my top 10. It sounds very like, doesn't work. I'm finishing my video on the top 10 race massacres you've never heard of. I don't mean you, but proverbial you. And it's been so much research because I want to get it right. And I'm trying to condense it all so people aren't like, bored out of their skull. But 18 to 3,000 times their money bounced in their community. That's, yep. And they had everything. And I actually got really involved in looking at the movie theater they had. And just who owned it. And I got like all into it. I was like getting all like sidetracked, with the bill details because it was very interesting. It was really cool, actually. But Pat, from 1921 to now, a lot of stuff are hidden from the public. Yeah, I have my first top 10 movie, top 10 race massacre video coming out. And it was painful to do and painful to be. You know what? I did it. And now I have another one coming out. There's going to be two. There's so much hidden history. Jose, oh, thank you. I love listening to your show. You are so sweet. Thank you. You made my night. Thank you. I do blab on, but so there's the man in Hawaii. They moved to Hawaii because they have a white mom and a actually an African dad from one of the African nations. I can't quite remember. And he moved there with his wife and his two precious babies because he thought it was like a better place, and now he's dead. So it's so sad. This is also sad. Sometimes I try to imagine life without racism. I imagine it all the time. I imagine it, and it's extremely emotional for me. And I know this sounds really stupid because I'm white. What do I care, right? No, I actually do care. And it's very emotional for me because I can't stand injustice. And I'm not saying there's any race of people who are perfect, but this is sick. This is so messed up. And it's been going on for centuries. And not a single generation says this ends with me. And I don't get why. I'll never understand why. And anyway, enough about my feelings. But I do. And when I imagine it, it's like one of those like Star Trek episodes, like in the olden days, where like they had like all evolved to the point where like racism would have been like, what? wrong with that person? Oh my God, they need help. Let's help them. It was like, one of those like episodes that is just surreal and amazing. And yeah, that. I put up a video detailing the lies of Representative Clyde of Georgia, who fabricated lies about January 6th, the insurrection. Mahako, welcome. Yay, nice to have you. I posted a video on a Black father and his toddler did you guys see that? Who were forced out of an Alabama mall. Basically, he was crying. I felt sick for him. He walked by somebody's shopping cart and their kid went crazy and screaming because he was a Black man. I mean, my God. And so the father or whoever it was with the screaming kid starts going after this man. He's with his little baby boy, toddler, little son, and it was unbelievable. They kicked him out of the mall. They kicked him. Yeah, they kicked him out of the. Yeah, just scroll up, Harper. It's right up there. I can put it again if you want. They kicked him out of the mall. I mean, it's horrible. So I just felt sick for this guy. It was, he was like crying. He's saying, I never thought this would happen to me. No one ever does. But anyway, and then the last one I put up, oh my God, a video of in California, the CIF championship basketball was, there was a racist event in California. They threw tortillas. That's pretty fucked up. And the kids were just so sweet as can be. It was terrible. It was awful. Let me see. Ramses, how many of y'all watched the Karen trailer? This movie is a true story. Can I please say, okay, that's the other video I just put up, the Karen trailer. Please watch it on my site because I have the, I'm just kidding. But there is a Karen movie out apparently. And I happened to run across it and I'm like, it's like one of those, it's a horror flick. It's a true real life horror flick. Ramses, absolutely. I'm watching it going, this is real. This is what people do. I mean, it was really scary. It was like, those movies that are horror films that I have never watched. I keep trying to think of like The Shining. I mean, it was like, I don't even know if that's one of them. It was the trailer. You got to watch the trailer. Out of control, scary. It was basically, they had a Karen living in their neighborhood and she was pure evil. And all the things she's done, I've seen on videos of real Karens doing. And it's totally spot on. Ramses, it's real. It is real. And I can put that call-in number again if you don't have it. Harper, just let me know. But anyway, check out the trailer. It was real. Yeah, it's a movie. It's a movie coming out. Yeah, it's the yeah. I mean, as far as I know, it's not a joke. It's the woman I saw in an interview. There's a woman who's in it, though, the white lady who's the Karen, said she felt like she needed to do it to play the villain if it was going to make some sort of difference. And you know what? Oh, you didn't need to put that. That's okay. That's okay. I think that's really admirable. I don't know this lady. I don't know much about actresses and pop culture, but from the interview I saw, I thought, you know what? If every white person felt that way, then we would be so dismantling of this thing. And I know Black, Brown, Indigenous people and African Americans, you're going to get your rights and your equity. But for the love of God, white people shouldn't just stand there and watch and perpetuate it. They should help. So it was pretty cool listening to her because I was like, if I was an actress, oh my God, I'd be terrible. But absolutely, suck it up and be a villain and teach and educate. Ronald, I saw a post earlier in which a woman involved in January 6th pled guilty to her charges. She was given 6 months probation, 120 days of community service, and fined $500. Unbelievable. Wow. People say it's an insurrection. That was an attempted coup. I'm sorry. I am not a political scientist. I am not a genius. I am not any of those things, but I am on the planet. And they wanted to murder and kill people and break in and stop the confirmation of the election, which is kind of in name only, but still. Harper, Ronald, I saw that 6 months is a joke. It's disgusting. Honestly, you could go on my site right now and look at videos of teens who did absolutely nothing and got more than that. It's embarrassing. It's unconscionable. I'm really afraid for this nation, but check out the Karen video. It's real. Like all the things she does, that's what white, and there's a video I made that I thought, okay, I can be a little bit like, once in a while I'll be like, this is a really good video. I know this is a good video. People need to learn this. It's about the history of white women and how abusive we have been historically over time and consistently to our brothers and sisters, mostly our sisters, who are brown and black and African American indigenous. And it talked about the history of it. And I practically got nobody watching it. I think it's such an important video. And so that's what I think of when I think of the Karens. These were the Karens of yesteryear. I mean, they were. I listened to I read Frederick Douglass's account of trying to get, the vote and how supportive he was of white women getting the vote and how absolutely unsupportive and obnoxious white women were when black men got the vote because they got it before them. And it was beyond, I don't want to get into it, but anyway, so there's that. And I hope people will watch that video because Karen needs to see herself historically, and Karen needs to see herself in this video. Now, it doesn't really matter what I think as a white person, but supposedly there's controversy about it. I'm sure there is. There are some people who think it's a horrible thing. My initial take, which not that it matters, was that as a white person, I think that it is not an exaggeration. I'm sorry. Like people might think it's a spoof. It's not a spoof. It's absolutely real. I mean, I have probably 10 videos on or more on my YouTube channel right now that show Karens and what they are capable of doing. So anyway, it's not a spoof. The actors and actresses were quite serious about it. The topics I have for today are: number one, could our democracy be saved by a kindergarten teacher? By kindergarten teachers, I guess, plural. Number two, spin, fabrication, and lies of the GOP. And number three, news to be noted, with one very cool thing. So I will do a quick, it's on my channel. The actual movie, it's not out yet. It's not out yet. And it won't be, I can't put it on my channel, it'll be copyright, but the trailer is what we're talking about. The trailer, I just put it up. And it's kind of triggering and scary. I thought it was scary. I showed my child and she's like, that's nothing compared to that. She's getting all these horror flicks. I'm like, great. But anyway, the problem is it's real, like real. So that's the problem. It's a horror movie that is absolutely realistic. God, you don't want to know. Anyway, today I have a quick rant I hope, excuse me, bear with me. It is a rant, actually, that's a partial reading of an article by a psychologist, a clinical psychologist. And this person posted their opinion on the Alternate, which is an online news forum. And I wanted to read it to you. And it's a summary, so it's a lot of things people know already, but it is extremely pointed in what this psychologist believes must occur to stop this era of this post-truth era that is just like facts aren't real anymore. So let me run through this and then please tell me what you think while I'm doing it, because I want to know what you think. So anyway, I'll try to read it fast because it's a little longer than I wanted it to be. In the article, the author explains how to break the twisted bond between Trump and his supporters, which is, for me, that's huge, because they are not willing to listen to our real history, our racial history, critical thinking skills. They are set there indoctrinated. It starts off, Manhattan's district attorneys convened the grand jury that will determine if charges should be brought against former President Donald Trump. I think most of us know that. Donald's presidency was an abysmal failure. I think we know that too. I said there's a lot of review here. Americans were constantly bombarded with misinformation and propaganda and gaslighting and oh so much more. We were traumatized by the sickness and the death of the coronavirus pandemic, and that could have been contained and could have been defeated, and it shouldn't have been that way. Our crippled economy created widespread depression and anxiety and just horrible things. Trump's racist, xenophobic, misogynist, nativist, white supremacy and violence were incredibly disturbing forces. I think we can all agree with that. His grifting and bashing of the emoluments clause of the Constitution revealed his shameless greed. The man knows no boundaries of where he'll go with his greed for money. His politicization of the Department of Justice for his own personal gain was corrupt to the core. And his incitement of the insurrection, which I'm sorry, I call like a coup, basically, of our democratic election on January 6th was illegal and behavior that's noteworthy of authoritarians. But Trump continues to exert this cult-like influence. He's still with us. He's not even the president. Over millions of Americans who are devoted to him in this, like, what this psychologist calls collective narcissism. I don't know, that's what he or she is the expert, not me. Trump's supporters view him as this all-knowing, charismatic leader who's going to lead them to the promised land of happiness by airing all their personal grievances and marginalizing Black people, people of color, Muslims, and immigrants. Remember, I'm reading an article. These aren't my words. In return, Trump relishes supporters because they give him the praise and adulation and unconditional respect that he so desires, and I'm adding, so does not deserve. He's a troubled, troubled man. But Trump secretly abhors his supporters. He hates them. He's said it a bunch of times on camera. He can't stand it. He thinks they're morons, but uses them to bolster his self-image of greatness and invincibility. I mean, he has serious issues. To be sure, Trump and his supporters have a bond that is incredibly intense and absolutely irrational. They are voting against their own best interest. Economically speaking, their best interest is to unite with everybody else against the wealthiest elites who are destroying us economically. They're destroying us. And the middle class is going, gone. I mean, you know all the things. The answer to, the question is how to break their collective narcissism. And that's the critical question that we're facing. And this psychologist says the answer is that Donald Trump must be prosecuted and punished for his crimes. Now, doesn't sound like a revelation exactly, but this is what the psychologist is saying. And hell yes, I agree. Especially the ones that he committed during his presidency, such as obstruction of justice during the Mueller probe, efforts to tamper with Georgia's Secretary of State, his incitement of the insurrection, coup, and perhaps even his conscious disregard or worse, I don't know, of more than 500,000 of our fellow humans who died from coronavirus under his watch because he didn't give a shit. I mean, oh my God. He wanted to send people to Guantanamo Bay. I mean, I don't know if you've been watching the news, but the man is really messed up. Being held, according to the psychologist, being held accountable will chip away at this culture of reverence these people have for this absolutely horrific monster. His fall from grace will be hastened if his supporters see him sentenced and incarcerated. And Trump's reign of terror on the American public was fueled by the strong belief that he won't get punished for it. He can break any laws he wants with impunity. And you know what? So far, he's right. He's 100% right. And I'm scared. I mean, he's right. This is exactly why his prosecution is so important. He has to face consequences so that his supporters will finally understand, or at least have to understand and accept the objective truth. Stop living a freaking lie. Trump's a con man. He's a greedy opportunist who's unleashed his cruelty, corruption, and anti-democratic leanings. Okay, that's a nice way to put it. I'd say, like, fascist leanings, onto all of us. He's in no one's best interest, except, I guess, if you're one of his buddies and you're super rich. I don't know. But not prosecuting and punishing Trump would send an unacceptable message that certain politicians who engage in wrongdoings are above the law. And right now, that man's above the law. In our democracy, no one should be above the law, or it's not a democracy. It's not a democratic republic. And this is like, basic, like fourth grade political science or, social studies. Politicians are elected officials who must serve with integrity and the public's best interest in heart. They take an oath to our Constitution. Democracy is weakened. And remember, I'm reading this. This is an article somebody else wrote. Democracy is weakened, obviously, if our president is allowed to get involved in illegal actions and misdeeds, and they go absolutely, they're just untouched and they're unheeded and allowed to continue. He is above the law. Trump needs to be permanently kept off social media outlets. He needs to not be nominated again to run for president. And Congress needs to pass new laws that constrain future presidents from breaking the norms that a lot of us thought were actually laws, like Trump did. Once Trump begins to lose his supporters, his political clout will melt away. And perhaps then the Republican Party can regroup and stop its disgusting, obnoxious complicity and start with a new, fresh leadership to go forward. I'm not holding my breath, people, but unfortunately, the Republican Party has been transformed and into this ugly image of the former president. They're all afraid of him. He is like a mob boss. He's not the president, and he's running the fucking show. This is crazy. It will take outside forces like the full transparent prosecution on all charges for the party to either untether itself from the malignancy of Trump himself. And whereas I agree with this person in general, I hold every last one of those Republicans accountable who sat and did nothing, or worse, talked about it and perpetrated the lies. Trump's not alone. Trump's just the evil leader they've always been looking for. If you have personal integrity, you say, I will not go along with somebody who's hurting my fellow humans. But almost every one of them, they want to keep their job. And sorry, I couldn't do it. In a strong democracy, it is not unheard of, like the right is trying to say. It's unheard of to hold a high official accountable for their crimes. It's unheard of. We don't do that. Well, you know what? Maybe it's freaking time we did. Former French President Nicolas, I can't pronounce his name, Sarkozy. Nicolas Sarkozy. I said it. Nicolas Sarkozy was tried in 2021 for crimes he committed during his 2007 presidential campaign, and he was found guilty. Yet France is still a nation on the planet. Another former French, not trying to pick on the French people here, Jacques Chirac. Jacques, you can tell I do not speak French. Spanish, sorry. Jacques Chirac was charged with a crime that occurred previous to his presidency when he was the mayor of Paris. And in 2011, 4 years after leaving the presidential office, he was tried and found guilty of corruption. The people who are supposed to be running our nation should have more personal integrity than anybody. At least that's how I was kind of thought it should be, but apparently not so much. Prosecution and punishment of Donald Trump is the key, according to this psychologist, to unlocking the bond of collective narcissism and his supporters. Nothing short of it will convince millions of Americans to get away from this dangerous, unfit man. This major step must happen if America is to move past this unprecedented burden of our criminal ex-president. And to be honest, that's the end of the rant. But if I can be honest, I would say, to be honest, I'm always honest for the most part. I try to be. It's a goal. That's a nice way to put it. The man is a freaking monster who wants to be a dictator. He's a sick man. He wants to be Hitler Roman numeral 2. Mr. F.S. Black, welcome. Yay, I'm glad you're here. So that's my rant. And although I'd be a lot harsher, I guess this person is well-spoken and wasn't as harsh as I would be. I use a lot of slang. Yes, I swear. Sometimes there's no other word that will work. And let me read some comments here. Let me see. Let me back it up. And thank you again so much for being here, everybody. I appreciate it. It's going to be a little bit of a short show tonight, I think, but I'll talk fast. Okay. It's definitely collective narcissism, he says, definitely. Like victims who love their abuser. Weird. Yeah, I mean, it's against our best interest, times 1,000. White folks, it is against our best interest to support racism. Black people aren't our enemy. The people making your life miserable are the wealthiest elites who are, for the most part, white, who create laws to pass so that you work for them and you work your ass off and get nowhere and they just get rich. Okay. And until white folks get this, we are never going to understand. The scariest thing the wealthiest elites can think of is that we will unite the white masses, middle income, lower income, even middle high income, and even upper income that has a conscience and actually gives a shit about its their fellow humans, will say, we're done with this. We're done with people struggling. We're done with this horrific capitalism on steroids. It was never meant to be a lifestyle. It was meant to have checks and balances, and they are all but gone, obviously. So enough of me blabbing. I will keep going. Harper, New York will get him for his taxes. I don't think anyone will try to get him on anything else because he'll probably slither out of anything else. Yeah, he's like, you can't seem to, he's a con man. He's, I don't want to say an evil genius because it's just too much credit, but the man is a fucking con man. And he conned a lot of people, and he did more than con them. He threatened them. He is a bully, and he's corrupt as hell. And think of how many people who were running honest elections around our country have quit. I saw some stats on that, which I do not have today right now in front of me. But think of all the people who are quitting to be, hosting elections and being the people who run them because they're afraid. I mean, they're afraid of him, and they're afraid of what he tells his clan to do. This is mob boss stuff, people. Okay, I'm going to be quiet. Harper, Liz Cheney's going to run, and it will be shitty. It's going to run, and it will be shitty again, but it will be underhanded because she's been in politics so long. Yeah. Ramses, did you see the Abigail Disney said in the article from The Hill? Give me more. I follow The Hill a lot, but my head's spinning right now. Tell me more. And remember, if there's a topic you want to talk about, bring it up, bring it on, and tell us, or give me a call. I'm going to get, the number is, if you scroll up on the comments, the number's there if you want to make a call. Totally, it'd be amazing. So, and give me your comments. But it's not ringing a bell, but I bet if you bring it up, let me just see here. Mr. Evans Black's here. I agree he needs to be convicted. Ramses, Trump's not going to jail for taxes like he told Hillary. She wrote the law for people like him. Yeah, it's not good. Rant on. Thank you, Carrie's back. Yay! You're here. Thank you. He's a serpent. Okay, wait, is a serpent? Okay, I'm gonna show my naivete. Is a serpent like a sea animal? Isn't it like a fictitious sea animal? Fictitious sea animal? I don't know. Maybe an evil one? I don't know. I'm bad. Carried back. Al Capone was above the law until they finally got him on his tax evasion. Right, right. Open Bob, Trump's clan, LOL, true story. Yeah, sorry, I keep it real here. I do, I try. And I'm not trying to be nasty. It's just, seriously. I mean, I'm sorry. I knew the guy was a monster the second I read about what he did to the Central Park Five young kids. That's pure evil. He didn't turn evil as president. That's how he was. Anyway, great comments, everybody. Let me know what you think. I'm going to jump to news to be noted. And I didn't put a ton of news to be noted. A snake. Oh, serpent. Right. Sea animal. Listen to me. Right. That's so stupid. I didn't know what that was, but it was okay. I'm used to being kind of like, I think that's a thing. Thanks. News to be noted. An Indiana was sentenced to federal prison after trying to intimidate a black family, a black neighbor, by displaying burning crosses and racial slurs and stuff. I don't know if you guys follow that. News to be noted is just things that I'm not going to talk about, but that you might want to look up. Sprinter Sha'Carri Richardson celebrated her 100-meter win. She qualified for the Tokyo Olympics. So that was awesome and amazing. Always very, very happy for people like that. I'm sure she's worked her tush off. This is kind of disturbing. California deputy is under investigation after video showed him, and I didn't put this video up, I could not bear to, kicking. There was a man who was completely cooperating, and he ran up to him like he was a football, like a psycho. I'm sorry, like somebody who needs like serious like help. And I don't like to say that kind of thing because it sheds a very, very skewed light on people with mental illness, because people with mental illness, this is not normal for them to do. Okay. But this is normal for somebody with extreme, I mean, very rare. He ran up to this man and kicked him in the head. And a lot of times I like to put those because I think white folks need to see the truth. But I was just like, it was disgusting. I couldn't do it. So I was running out of time. So, but anyway, that's something if you want to view that. Mr. F.S. Black. The government makes Juneteenth a federal holiday without ever paying reparations is a con, a mere pacifier to quiet us from speaking out against the ongoing war on Black generational wealth. Absolutely. I felt for a long, Mr. F.S. Black, I think we talked about this. I felt for a really long time when I first heard that they were going to do that. I was like, wow, just wow. What a gratuitous slap in the face. How about the script where they make Juneteenth a federal holiday where we have the day off, and they help to stop and dismantle systemic racism? How about that script? Oh, no, that won't happen. You see, this is how it goes. It doesn't matter. It's like, it's such a powerful part of American life to keep our white supremacy. It's a joke. We're not supreme. It's living a lie. It's a freaking fantasy. But these people who are in politics, or at least the one in power right now, what is he afraid? Is he afraid that that people will be like, oh, how could you let people have their human and civil rights like the Constitution says they should have? Is he afraid? Is he just afraid of I don't get it. Just News, welcome. Are things getting worse, or is it just getting captured and televised? I don't know, and I'm not an expert in this area, but things are getting worse. Okay, I have an opinion, obviously. We're in the twilight of our democracy. This is how democracies go down. Things are getting worse. I am kind of old, just saying, and I've never, ever seen this kind of thing in my entire life. I have not liked a Republican president, but I have always respected that they're president, and they might do things that I think are horrible, but I kind of get it a little bit. But this was just, oh my God, no, things are absolutely getting worse. In fact, I think, not to be rude, but I think it's too late. I think it's too late. The divide between the wealthiest people and everybody else is too much. Um, Citizens United, companies and corporations are people? No, they're not. They're not. They're there to make money. And so we have capitalism on steroids. It's a lifestyle, and it's very, very inhumane. And I think personally it's too late. Not to be rude, but just want to think. But yeah, great question. Does anyone else want to answer that question? Don't make me do it. Tell me what you think. Yeah, I just no, it's turned Trump and his clan of politicians and of fraidy cats who have zero personal integrity, zero, less than zero. Okay. They've been waiting for this since the end of the Civil War, since the Compromise of 1877, when the troops left and they said, yeah, now we can take back our white supremacy for real. And the troops left the South. That was the beginning of the end. But you'd think people would like evolve, but I just don't think we're evolving fast enough. We are choosing to use fear and lies and misinformation because that's what it feels like to us, and it feels right. We're taking fields of study that people have studied for centuries, okay? Areas of study that there's scientific areas, social science and physical science. Over the years, millions of people, the brightest, greatest minds in the world have studied this stuff and come up with best practices. And you have this person on the side, well, I feel this. And they think their opinion is actually equal to the world's foremost experts. And that is the problem. I'm sorry. Your opinion, like I said, I'll say it one more time. You're going to a trip to the moon. There's nobody really goes to the moon unless they're astronauts, right? But there's a great new program that you get to go. And this is so exciting. Who will you go to get your advice from? You'll maybe read some books, maybe read some articles, but your best friend loved the movie Apollo 13. He saw it 7 times. So he is willing and able to tell you everything. He knows a lot. He loved that movie. I'm sorry. I'm going to an astrophysicist from MIT or Caltech, okay? Somebody who's had 3 moonwalks. I'm going to a real astronaut to get my advice. His advice, I'm glad he liked the movie. That's great. It was a good movie. I'm not getting my advice from him. He's not a professional. He feels like he liked the movie. So does that mean he knows? No, I'm sorry. It doesn't. So the arrogance is real. All right. Gosh, you guys get me on a rampage. Mr. FS Black, I blame you. No, just kidding. I saw that they did that and I felt kind of a weird feeling. I felt guilty because I should be happy, but I wasn't. I was like, oh, what are they up to? What are they trying to do? They're trying to say, see, we threw you a bone here. Yeah, we did this. We did this. Aren't we great? No, that's not great. Dismantle systemic racism. That's great. I don't know. And a lot of people will say reparations. My God, but even for me, reparations without dismantling systemic racism is still no. We need to act human, white America. My God, we're on this earth for such a short period of time. Stop making it about us. It's against our best interest to be racist as hell. But we're indoctrinated. It's so sad. Anyway, I'm gonna cry. I'm not kidding. It's horrible. Let me see. So yeah, Mr. Evans Black, Just News. Yeah. That's my. I have opinions. Pat, it will even get worse. You have seen nothing yet, Pat. You've seen wrong. I 100% agree. Honestly, I'm telling people that I know, and okay, I'm telling everybody, get a plan to escape. Get an exit plan. Um, it's easy to say. It's not easy to say if you're, struggling, and it's not your fault if you're struggling. This nation has gone bonkers. Um, we've lost our collective minds. Okay. Oh, okay. That was not my last. This is kind of a weird one. Pat, look, blacks need what is owed. Yeah, but without stopping systemic racism and in its tracks, it'll only go so far. I mean, think about Black Wall Street. Remember, I'm going over all these horrific massacres, race massacres. I'm doing the top 10 video, and I have another one. So, T-Writers, do you think that Juneteenth is a start to this national system racism because Juneteenth tells a true historical account of what happened? I thought about that too. That's actually a really good point. It could be. Right now, most white folks, I think, are going, what's that? We get a day off, yay. But eventually, over time, they should catch on to, like, what is it? Their kids, well, they'll teach it in school if that's not against the law, to actually, education is the key to understanding our real racial history. But I don't know, it might be too little too late. Education is needed most to get people to even begin to exactly. In fact, I had this kind of back and forth with some guy online the other day. They said, I like your videos, but you got to tell people to do an action. I'm like, I work, no. I get that. Take action. But you see, the people I work with online, they don't even know our real racial history. They don't even know that there's a need to take action. They're in such denial. So I kindly explained to the person that, sure, if somebody understands our culture of systemic racism and our economic divide that is keeping the wealthiest elites so happy and so rich while all of us struggle. But the folks I work with don't even, they think they're the victims. So it's like, what the person didn't understand is that teaching our real racial history is the start. Taking action is something someone does after they get it and they get enraged and say, I'm not putting up with this. So unlike I run the kind of like the preschool for beginners, for white folks. So anyway, but it could be, it could be. I think that's a great point. I don't know. At this point, I really feel like too little too late. But Earth's zero is gain zero gravity. Okay, I know I'm saying it wrong. Suicidal people have no racism, at least they don't see color or humans or animals. Let me read that again. Suicidal people have no racism, at least they don't see. I'm trying to think about what you're trying to say. If somebody is so, James, oh my gosh, hi, welcome. I'm trying to like figure out, yay. Somebody is suicidal, they are so lost in their own sadness and pain and hurt. Sure, sure, it's probably true. I don't know. I'm not a psychologist or psychiatrist, but I am human. You're probably right. Yeah, interesting. Harper, I hope, but till the racists die off, no. And you know what? The whole racist die off thing. Here's my point on that, and I'm not downing you, Harper. I know it's like, I get what you're saying, but I gotta say, us moms and dads are very, very good at continuing and perpetuating generational racism from generation to generation. We're really damn good at it. And unless you are a white person who purposefully goes out of your way to make it a lifestyle, to educate yourself till the day you die, we'll never get it. How are we going to get it? We were born white privilege. Doesn't mean we're rich. Doesn't mean we don't work hard. It doesn't mean everything's great. Oh my God. It means that being white isn't a problem. It's not part of it doesn't factor in. it doesn't harm us, okay? It's a benefit. We get the reasonable doubt, okay? And everyone else doesn't. It just means that our color, the shade of our skin isn't part of our problem that harms us. And again, that's a really important point. Let me see here. I'm going to back up. Mr. F.S. Black. Wait, did I get you? Of course, I'm skipping people already. I apologize. Mr. F.S. Black. They make Juneteenth a federal holiday before they make police brutality a federal crime or a bill for anti-Black hate crimes. Yeah, it's Mr. F.S. Black. I could not agree with you more. It's gratuitous and it's disgusting. That's why I keep saying, how about the script where we stop this madness? It doesn't have to be like this. It's a choice. And it's disgusting. It's just my take, but yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Pat, they don't want the playing field levered because there is still a level of fear. Pat, are you trying to say like white people don't want to stop systemic racism because they like to feel like they like to have the benefit of the doubt. They like to have the this false sense of superiority, which is ridiculous. Like, how out of touch with like your own personal emotions you have to be to feel like because you're white you're superior? I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's just, but yeah. Tell me more, Pax. I'm 100% sure if I'm misrepresenting what you're saying. Harper says, at Earth, 0 is gain to 0 grave. Oh my gosh, I'm so butchering that. Sorry. Why do you say that? Why do you ask that? Yeah, I'm curious too. I'm curious. James, as I asked before, is the American dream a lie, or is it that it aspired to be dead? Okay, that's a great question. Yes, you have asked that a lot, and you want to know my opinion, or anyone else, if you want to answer that, I'd be more than happy to read it. Sorry, I'm like sweating my butt off here. This is the strange thing. Part of my problem is with things that I'm not extreme on, I have to say yes and no. Yes and no. I think it's probably yes and absolutely no. I don't think it's like an extreme question right now. I think the setups there, our Constitution could do amazing things for us. But the will of the people isn't being followed. Okay? The will of the loudest, most obnoxious are being followed. We aren't a progressive society. Other nations have things that should be considered human and civil rights, like the right to health care. We have lost our minds with greed. And, Citizens United and all these laws, the wealthiest elites don't have to pay taxes. That's not an accident. The loopholes, that's not an accident. Corporate welfare, we pay. And they pay nothing a lot of times. And it's going, well, I follow Robert Reich for that because I'm not an economist. I am not macro. Oh my God, I struggled in macroeconomics and oh my gosh. But Robert Reich is a Berkeley professor, and he worked for many of the administrations. And he's brilliant, and he's kind, and he's incredibly, incredibly humane. And if you want that question answered, he would say, absolutely, things are going down. I'm pretty sure he would say that it's way worse. Robert Reich, he's a lot older, but guy has wisdom beyond human understanding. Let me keep going here. Let me see. So James, I'm sorry I can't answer the question, but I bet Robert Wright could. I'm just not qualified, you know. Harper, T. Rogers, we need more white people to break the cycle. I hope it gets faster rather than slower. Yeah, I mean, we got to break the cycle. We have to. It's a gift you give your children. Raising racist children, think of what you're doing to them. It's like child abuse. I'm sorry, it is. Ultimately, we are in a global world. It's too late. You can't go backwards. Trump's trying. Trump tried. He's trying to force us backwards. But you can't, because you see, there's something called climate change. And we're all in this together, whether we like it or not. And if we don't coordinate among our nations, it'll be over. I don't even understand how anyone could be into this nationalism bullshit. I love to travel. I've only done it like once or twice, but I love other cultures. I want to meet other people. I want to learn other ideas. I want to see how other countries make things work. We're all humans on this earth for such a short amount of time, lucky enough to be together at the same period of time. Why do we have to be so rotten to each other? It doesn't make sense. Harper, the statement of people with suicidal ideation doesn't change someone's view about racism. Yeah, I was just going with it because I think the person was saying, and I don't know because they should call in. I think they were trying to say that, like, at the time, if you are absolutely suicidal, like, it is all encompassing. Like, you're not, you're focusing inward. Like, I think that's what they're trying to say. But yeah, I mean, being suicidal isn't, when you become more stable, you don't go, oh, I've seen the light. I mean, right. Yeah, I know if that's what you mean. I was just kind of thinking, like, trying to get what they were trying to say. I could be wrong. But jump right in and definitely, I know what you're saying too. Pat, yes, that too, and it shows in what they did on Black Wall Street. They had a level of fear and hatred. Mr. F.S. Black, Kim, if you've ever seen the film Margin Call, there's a scene that explains the system perfectly. The wealthy elites keep their hand on the scale in white America's favor. Yep. It is so powerful. A lot of times, white folks will come online with me and say, well, what about this? And what about that? And they'll use their own personal experience. And the first thing I say is, it's not about you. It's about a system. You can talk about you and your experience, but that's sampling of one. It's about a system that is so much more powerful than any one person or group. It's a system. So stop making it about you. And they get really mad. And maybe they think, and maybe I had people tell me that long, long ago. And I was like, and I felt terrible. And I was like, I took that home and I thought about it and I was like, shit, I am making it about me. But you got to drop your ego at the door if you're white. You just have to. And I still make it about me sometimes because I do this so much and I get upset. But it's something we always just have to be working towards. It's not about us individually. It's about a system, dismantling a system. And that's very powerful. And it's powerful because it's got wealth, power, and prestige, and they are not going to, like, here's what I say to people. Did you really think the minute the military left the South that some of these absolute staunch, racist, overt, slave-holding, whatever people were going to say, we've seen the light? Now, the people who we tortured and did incredibly cruel atrocities to over just the cruelest, sick psychological bullshit over time and time again, over generations. Well, the law says they're human. Now they're human. No, they left and that was it. You cannot litigate a person's heart. You can't. And I wish you could, in a way, because anybody who knows our real racial history, who has a normal IQ or better, or whatever, if they're disabled, that's a whole different story, who has a normal IQ or better, it is incredibly obvious that we did this. White folks did it. In fact, let's try one look right now, but I got to look it up again. The Lyndon B. Johnson said every time. I'm looking it up. I always say I'm not going to do it, but I got to do it. I'm going to say it. Here it is. I will read it if I can see. I have my contacts on right now. This is antiquated, and I've probably read this like 15 times, but this is what I wrote throughout the entire thread. Lyndon B. Johnson once said, go to Snopes, it'll say, yes, he did say this. If you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you're picking his pocket. Hell, give him something. Oops, sorry, something flashed on my screen. Hell, give him something to look down on, and he'll empty his pockets for you. That may be the most truthful quote I have ever heard in my life. And that is what's happening. If you look up Michelle Alexander's book, The New Jim Crow, she talks all about it. We white folks have been played the fools generation after generation because we think maybe we could get rich like everyone else. Yeah, right. For most of us, that's never going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Let me see. I did not see that, and I will definitely have to look that up after Mr. Feslack. Thank you. Pat, they saw the Black community was thriving all too well and caused a level of fear and hatred that's why the white supremacist group bombed them. Yeah, well, yeah, they were just probably they were jealous. They couldn't bear. Brett, hello, welcome. LBJ was telling the truth. Yeah, how honest is that? Incredibly honest. And I probably said that 15 times in different videos because it's true. We white folks have been played the fools. Welcome, Brett, by the way. Thanks for being here. We've been played the fools generation after generation. It's unbelievable. We would rather vote against our own best interest, not have health care, not have stability, not make a living wage. But damn it, if we can stay racist and pretend that we're superior, we're in. It's something's wrong. We have, and I'll say it again, we have a white person problem in this country. Okay. Now, we have been indoctrinated to believe that, and I don't understand this, but I mean, obviously this is what we do. It's our culture. We blame Black, brown, African American, indigenous people, immigrants, for everything. And it's that they're the problem. No, I'm sorry. I'm going to switch this around because I'm going to be honest. We have a white person problem. Okay. We have a culture of inhumanity. It's unbelievable. It's unconscionable. And so, yeah, it's a white person problem. And people say, oh, you just hate white people. Yeah, right. I am a white people. No, I just expect a little more than this. This can't be our best. It just can't be. It's zero integrity, hurting our fellow humans, watching and doing nothing while people suffer. This is sick. This can't be our best. I mean, I'm just saying. So let me see here. Hako, I strongly feel a lot of white people are trapped in their own ways. Each day I lose a lot of faith in many white people who still have very racist ignorant views towards all Black people. Yeah. Like I used to say, this is so weird. I'm losing hope in humanity, losing my hope for humanity one Trump supporter at a time. It's heartbreaking. It's just unbelievable. But yeah, I'm right there with you, Brett. It's why racism will never go away. It's like we're not self-actualized enough to say, I'm going to learn what makes me light and what makes you dark and what makes you tan or what makes you, whatever shade you are, very, very dark or light or chocolate or whatever shade you call yourself. I'm going to learn the science about that. Okay. And I'm going to learn more active melanin in your body creates a darker hue. I mean, it's like, this is science, people. We actually know the science. It's not a mystery. Science, a lot of science is a mystery. There's a lot of things we don't know, but this we actually do know. It's just part of life, part of genetics. I mean, how people pass on. It's a dominant gene. And for people to pretend that they're superior because they have less active melanin in their body, that is kind of weird to me. It doesn't make sense. It's like, I get that desperate to be, if being white's the best thing you ever did in your freaking life, I'm sorry, that's really sad. Like, that's like self-esteem issues or something. I don't know. Anyway, I'm blabbing on. Like I do. It's just drop your ego. It's not about us. You can be great in other ways. But you were born the way you were born and you had nothing to do with it. It was just chance. Okay, I will shut up. Let me see here. Oaxaca. I refuse to let any racist white person define me or tell me that I can or can't do. I will continue to help my people and teach others within the community about our real racial history so we can avoid, okay, I'm going back to your name. Wait a second. We can avoid, I'm assuming that's going to continue, the whitewashing happening in schools and in the news. Pretty sad how racists would rather be taught lies than the truth. Yeah, I don't get that. I don't know. I don't think I'm special, people, but I would much rather hear the truth, a hard truth, than bullshitting lies any day of the week. I can't stand BS. So, oh yes, you can call in anytime you want. Absolutely. If you want the number again, you can scroll up and the number's there, or I can put I don't have the number and I'll scroll up. I might never find my other place again, but absolutely call in. I would love it. Where am I here? I like your attitude, Mahaka. You're so adorable. Pat, like Black people have in this country. I'm not sure what that's referring to. Carried back. Do you think there are communities that are doing things right but don't have a white people problem? Who's out there that we can learn from? I think there are some really, really progressive communities, but they're very, very few and far between. I think, it's kind of funny when I travel to Pennsylvania, I go through these towns and it's like, wow, just incredibly welcoming. It is live and let live. It's just a total love for their fellow humans. Right now, our culture is just so uneducated. I'm sure there could be places here and there, but because we have, we're allowed to move around, and go to other places, it's hard to say. There are places that are obviously doing much better than others. Now, it depends how you're gauging it. For example, that's a great question, obviously, how you're gauging it. One way to gauge is through the police, the gatekeepers of systemic racism. I looked into a long time ago, a couple of years ago, I read an extensive study that I tried to break apart. And it's in one of my videos. I should put it up. It's, to me, the most fascinating video I've ever put up. And it's not my information. It's just, I read this amazing study. And it took apart every piece of a society's police behavior. And it showed, if you do this, your death rate's lowered. If you do this, your police brutality rate's lowered. If you do that, police get killed less often. If you do this, it was amazing. And they were best practices. And we have answers. See, that's the problem. We have answers. We know how to not be racist. We know how to have equity. We know how to have justice. As a people, we don't want to. Okay, and as white people are now the most powerful, I don't know how long that'll be, or the way it's looking like they're gonna make it stay. So I guess It's a great question, but we don't want to. It's not like we don't have solutions. So yeah, I don't know if I'm answering your question, but we have little like Oakland, California it was an example. I don't know if they still are, but years back they changed everything. They had barely any police brutality, any problems with horrific. Hello. Hello.
Hey, what's going on?
Hi, welcome. Thanks for calling in. What's up?
Hey, no problem.
Welcome.
So I just wanted to touch up upon a little bit more of what I was saying. So the reason why I said what I said in the comments was, yet again, this actually happened today, this one story, but so I'm making a delivery and guy who's seen me before, hey, how's it going? I'm like, hey, whatever. I ended up getting a new vehicle, so he brought that up. He's like, oh, it looks nice. I'm like, thanks. He's like, oh, you're cool. Here we go. Get a little too comfortable, these white supremacists. So he's like, oh, you're cool, blah, blah, blah. He's like, tries to do the fist bump thing. I'm like, where the heck is he going with this? And he's like, oh, all lives matter. I don't know if you're into that Black Lives Matter thing or whatever, and blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, oh my God. Like, no one said anything about no politics, lives matter, lives don't matter, nothing like that.
He had to show you.
So this fool, this idiot, this white supremacist, that's the first thing that comes out of his mind. It's like they see a black person and they just gotta act up. They gotta act real stupid. Like you could be there to give the guy $1 million check, and the first thing on his mind isn't the $1 million, it's your race, you as a black person. So, like I said in my comment before, I pretty much give up on the idea of the majority of white people actually coming together, guys. Um, I don't have a better word to use, but I'm sorry, I gotta say it, guys. We fucked up. We did some pretty messed up things to the African American race. We gotta fix this. It ain't happening. There are things other people can do, like within my community, like I mentioned before, we need to teach each other real history because I feel like when you go to school, they teach you a lot of whitewash things. They don't teach you whole truths at all. It's always, oh, well, Christopher Columbus, he didn't discover nothing. Then they don't want to teach you all African American history. They only want to teach you about slavery and then bits and pieces, like how someone sat on a bus and then Martin Luther King and then like the end. It's like, no, there's way more history than that.
Right.
Like you mentioned earlier in the show, Black Wall Street. They don't want us to know about that. I've already known about it, but not all black people know about that. And that's because, yet again, if they had to teach Black Wall Street, they would also have to teach how their white supremacist brothers and sisters burned it down. That's like everything else.
And murdered.
So that's why I wanted to bring that up, because it's very important that not only that black folks know the real history, African American history and so on with our country, but also to the few, because there are some out there, the few white people that actually do care and everything. It is very important to really educate yourselves on exactly what your ancestors did and so on and so forth. But that's the problem. A lot of people get very offended at the fact that you're just stating facts. I'm like, oh my God, you hate white people. No one is saying anything wrong. Anyone hating white people. We just like, hey, you need to accept responsibility for what your ancestors did, but also not only that, you need to teach the proper history. It's sad that we have a thing called critical race theory. It's called the damn truth. Why do you guys have to come up with these like crazy phrases and all that? And then when someone actually brings it up, that's the problem. Like, I don't understand it. Like, this world is so messed up.
They're trying to make it illegal to teach the truth now. Yeah. They're trying to make it illegal to teach the truth. And part of the thing is, we are so not even there. And obviously I know you know this. You've been on the show and everything. We are so not there. When you say white people, our first reaction is, don't call me that. I'm not a white person. Like, we don't have some sort of allegiance to that group. That's just the norm. Everyone else is othered.
Yeah.
So calling us white is like an insult. We're like, what? We don't look at it that way. We don't we think everybody just sees themselves like we do, and we don't get it. And so we're like, ancestors, my ancestor did it. It's not. So I always tell people, it's not as much like, if you say ancestors, all they have to say is, well, my people moved here, whatever. See, here's the thing. We all benefit from what's happened. And even more important right now in this day is it's still happening. So your ancestors, your fellow white people, folks that were in power like you, there's a lot of ways to put it. Guess what?
Yeah.
We're doing it now. So don't even, because people, racist folks in denial, love to go back. Well, I wasn't even here, or you don't know my family situation, or I was Irish, or it's like, no, it's happening right now. You're here. And so it's a really tough thing, because the desperation is real with white folks wanting to deny it. And I don't really get it, but it's not about us. So anyway, I didn't mean to cut you off, but boy,
No, you're fine. You're fine.
But
It's just,
yeah,
I want to really say that because I'm just like, wow. So no matter what I do or whatever, at the end of the day, I could be literally an airplane pilot for all we know one day. Who knows? There's always going to be that one white person out of all the people there. You said some crap about the fact that I'm black, or just say something real stupid or ignorant or whatever. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm just so sick of this. And then I agree. I forgot who it was that said it in the comment section. It's not about black people educating ourselves about racism, because we already know what it is. We've been through it millions of times.
Mm-hmm.
It's more or less white people being educated, and that's the problem. You bring that up, like, oh, that's funny, because you don't see color, but the first thing out of a lot of white people's mouths is, oh, that's black man, that's colored man. Y'all don't see colors, right? All right. I'll remember that the next time something happens with the police, or Karen, the one Karen, she got kicked out of a store. I forgot the reason. She's calling the black lady a monkey and all this other racist stuff. And the black lady, she kept her cool and everything. Have a good day, man. The lady's saying all sorts of crazy stuff.
At Ross for life.
Are you kidding me? So
and
anytime someone says all lives matter, they don't see colors or whatever, I'm sorry. Like I said, excuse my friend, they are full of shit. Like, get that mess out of here. You cannot sit there and tell me all lives matter. If all lives matter, every time a black person gets killed by a cop, I want to see them in the front line on that cop behind, and everyone else that was involved with it doesn't happen.
Yeah,
I don't see color. Okay. So the next time I hear someone say, oh, well, they assume I'm from the South because I'm black, which is also extremely ignorant and stupid, or I mentioned nothing about politics at all. I was like, all right, here's your, like I said before, here's your $1 million check. Oh, you're a black man. Oh, you're cool. You're not like the others, or just some crazy mess like that. It's like, why is that? It's like, why is it that every time I go to do the most mundane thing of all the time, just anything clear, I could drink water, I could drive down the street, I could eat ice cream. That is the first thing out of a white person's mouth. So clearly it's an issue, because one group of people, we see this and we're like, yo, what is going on? Why is this the first thing out of your mouth? But white people, this is the problem. This is part of white supremacy. They see nothing wrong with that. They see that as, that's normal. I'm white and I say so. If I want to ask you about this and that, I can do that. What is the issue? Like, why are you offended? Why? I have black friends. I have a black boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is. Like, slow your roll. What's your deal, black man? Like, why are you so upset? So there's always going to be that divide and everything.
Yeah.
I don't see it ending anytime soon. I really think that this racism thing is a disease that needs to be cured ASAP, but we already know what the cure is, and unfortunately, a lot of people aren't going to take that serum, because that would mean they would need to know the truth and accept it, and that's the hardest part.
And drop our ego.
Cannot accept.
Drop our ego, and it's not about us. It's not about us. I think it's about being human, and I really truly do. And white folks, we have this serious privilege thing going there. We think we know better about racism and more about racism than the person who has to endure it in their life every second of every day. That's the arrogance and the ignorance is quite a combination. it's overwhelming. We actually think we know more. And that's what you're getting. Somebody says all life matters. How conceited and arrogant is that to say to a Black person, all lives matter? Well, if all lives mattered equally with equity, there wouldn't be a reason for the Black Lives Matter movement. You see, it's ridiculous. It's racism. It's white supremacy. It's racism. It's obnoxious. I am just so sorry you have to go through that, Jordan. I just
it's just I had to point that out. That's how powerful white supremacy is. White supremacy is so powerful that literally the guy could shout out all let's say it's two people, a Black guy and a white guy. The white guy can shout out all sorts of racist words, attack the Black guy, and continue to say all the racist stuff towards the Black guy as it's happening. And then some random white guy, some dude that lives in the woods, whatever you want to describe him as, that's white, he could see no wrong with that. Well, and then you want to know what he does? It's like they always portray on the news. Well, he did in the second grade, he did take some kids lunch money or something like that, or well, we think he had a gun. It's always something to justify the racism, and it's sickening. It's like, are you kidding me?
Black people are always killed twice.
Was just there in plain sight, not doing nothing wrong, minding his own business, and he gets attacked, killed, and the first thing that comes out of a white person's mouth is, "Oh, well, he deserves it. He was a thug. Oh, this, oh that." It's like, are you kidding me? And then something happens to like a random white person, and magically tears come out. Oh man, I feel so bad for the person.
It's like we can't have empathy. We somehow we're having like a problem with having empathy for our fellow humans, and it's very socialized. We're indoctrinated. We are literally indoctrinated into this at birth, but you see, here's the thing. There comes a time in your life where you grow the fuck up and start acting human. And I don't care if you were raised racist. Sorry, not buying it. There were abolitionists every single year of every date for always. This is not something that like, oh, they just didn't know back then. They didn't know that they were beating someone to a bloody pulp, killing them. Sorry, not buying it. No, we know what we're doing, and it is purposeful in at one degree or another. It is like Jane Elliott says, how would you like to be treated the way we treat Black people in America today? No, you wouldn't. So don't say you don't know, and don't say you don't get it. It's bullshit. So, I agree with you 100%. Yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah, no problem. I also want to say what Pat W said. I agree 100%. He said if whites go through a third what Blacks run through, they probably commit suicide. What's scary about that is they don't go through what we go through, but they have a higher suicide rate, which I don't understand because you're in the bubble of white supremacy. So why would you need to kill? See, it don't make no sense. It's like
there's a lot of studies on that. I don't think anybody knows.
People that still commit suicide and everything, but now imagine that something that's already existing like that right now, but they have to go through what we're going through right now. So that's what I mean. Like, we are strong people. Like, we stood at the time, like with all the Tuskegee projects, like all of them.
Absolutely.
Still here, and people are still trying everything in their power to shut us down, and it is not working. Notice, if you cover a story dealing with racism on Facebook or something like that, you get whether it's demonetized. I don't know how the Facebook thing works. Or they'll try to kick you off the platform. You try to mention Louis Farrakhan, they'll try to ban you. Like anything that tries to teach people about racism or attack racism head on, and it's like you get punished.
I got kicked off for life, so I know that.
It's not a problem.
Yeah, no, I got kicked off for life, so I know I could go into it. I don't want to like school anyone on it, but I've done a bunch of research on it. It's because the rules are absolutely ludicrous. The way Mark Zuckerberg makes the rules, he equates saying the N-word with saying white. He doesn't understand the power differential. He doesn't get it. He just doesn't get it.
Yeah.
And but anyway, I'll get into it. But yeah,
not to cut you off, but that's white supremacy.
Yeah.
So basically, instead of them actually dealing with the problem head on, like someone actually is racist, they're like, you know what? Well, you call the guy racist, so you're just as bad. I'm gonna ban you. That's white supremacy. That's basically saying I don't want to deal with this crap. I don't want anyone to say that I'm a racist or whatever. So you know what? The guy that said the other guy was racist or tried to teach other people, I'm just gonna ban him instead of trying to actually find out what the other person said and then doing what's right. That's white supremacy. Like you can literally just avoid actual issues.
Well, calling
like
someone out on their racism is not racist. It's called calling them out and making them have to actually answer for their inhumane behavior. And it's like saying, like, if you say like, this is like a horrible thing. A crime was a horrible crime was committed to a woman. There was a rapist or something, and calling them a rapist means you're a rapist. No, that's ridiculous. I mean, grow the fuck up. Really, it's ridiculous. So yeah, the people who say that, it's just like stop avoiding and stop deflecting. You're not mature enough to really use your common sense and your God-given cognitive ability to analyze and use thinking skills. It's sad.
And I would say that's the main thing that's holding us back. Like this, like people are just scared to just accept the fact that it's there, and like you may not have done it. Like you always use your analogy and everything. You know, person in the pool, you may not push them in, but you sat there and watched.
You watched.
Like, what's wrong with you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or you didn't build the pool, but
you could still do something about it. Like just because you didn't do it doesn't mean you can't.
I'm so happy you remember my little analogy. Right. It's like, you don't just stand there. I didn't put them in. It's like, what the hell's wrong with you? You don't just stand there. I didn't build the pool. Who cares? This is your fellow human. God, I just don't get it. I don't get it. But yeah. No, it's
very frustrating, but that's all I really had to say. Thanks again, having the show and everything. But yeah, I really had to say that. I saw some of the comments and like, oh man, I gotta call in. This is ridiculous. And that like just happened today in the afternoon. I was like, wow, are you kidding me? It's like I get a long break, and then bam, just happens again.
Yeah, you don't deserve that. That's just so obnoxious. You're just living your life. It's like, God, people need to leave you alone. Just like stop getting in your business. It's like, wow, that's very like insecure people. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't either. I have no idea.
I got no answers, but all I can say is you don't deserve that. You're an incredible young man, and like, we got a white person problem. And you know what? The reason I know we do is because we still have rampant systemic racism everywhere.
Yep.
Just saying. So, all right. Thanks for calling in, Jordan. You're wonderful.
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much. I'm so happy. All right. Talk to you soon, my friend.
You too. Right.
That's my sweet friend, Jordan, who I adore. So let me take some more comments. I'm thrilled that he called in. He has just been through the ringer. He has a couple of videos on excellent videos where he expresses himself and tells like what's been going on in his life and how he's had to deal with racism in his life. And I'm so thrilled to have had him on. He's done some incredibly nice videos. Plus he's my friend. So all right, let me just back it up here. Harper, oh my God, I'll get to that. That was funny. Let me just get back. Sorry, I'm like doing a little speed reading here. I'm going to do a really bad thing. If you feel like I do, that, excuse me, that is way past time for white America to take some racial responsibility and do the best they can and learn to find their voice and stand up for our fellow humans like you do anything else. Please consider subscribing. I had to do my little sorry. I'm reading these things like how to get people to want to subscribe, whatever. Wow, there's a lot of comments. Let me just back this up. Back. Jamie, oh my goodness, welcome. I'm still backing up. Okay. Mahaka. Okay, I finally got there. Sorry. Mahaka. The whitewashing happening in schools and in the news, pretty sad how racists would rather be lied to than have the truth. Yeah, I mean, lied to, they want to stop us. They want to make it illegal to speak the truth. Oh my God. That's like, talk about, that happens in dictatorships. Well, you can't, try North Korea. You cannot speak the truth or you will be rounded up. You will be rounded up with the 3-generation rule, and don't even go there. And you will disappear and be considered not a citizen and starved. Yeah. Brett, the other problem is we have too many tap dancers. All we racists have to do is convince one of us that we are accepted by them, and we will dance for Messiah, master. Okay, interesting. Can you, Brett, if you're still here, because I know I'm blabbing on, can you explain what you mean by that more? Because I don't want to misrepresent you. I think I know what you're saying, but I'm not 100% sure. Is this what you're saying, Brett? Is that that Black folks are so wanting to be accepted and understood that they'll do whatever it takes to be like liked, and so they'll just play the role, and it hurts everybody when they do that, because they are telling the white person like, yeah, you're right, white is right, and you know, I'll try to be more like you. And is that kind of what you're saying? If I'm wrong, let me know, because I don't want to misrepresent anyone. T, when we visit Tennessee, the white people there are always very nice to us, but I know it's fake because that's Trump country. Yeah, that's scary. That makes me scared. Mr. Evans Black, yeah, that's really scary. I believe it. And no, I don't think every single person is an overt, absolute, out of control racist who's white, but it's not a yes or no question. Are you racist is not a yes or no question. If you live in a society that's based on white supremacy, it's a continuum. Where are you on the anti-racism scale? It's a lifelong journey, and we'll never get there. We're raised in a culture of white supremacy. And yes, it is extremely hard for somebody who's very, very impoverished and white to understand. That's economic privilege, different than white privilege. But economic privilege in a country that is doing capitalism as a lifestyle is huge. I actually asked the question the other day, which is our stronger love in America? White supremacy or greed for money? You tell me. I think they're pretty up there, both of them. Let's see here, where was I? Back to the, yeah. Mr. FS Black, Mahako, I get what you're saying, but I think if anyone should be taught our real racial history, it's white mainstream society. Most of us already know our history. We still live it every day, right? Because the history of white supremacy is still happening. It's like, and I've said this before, and actually I upset somebody when I said this, but so trigger warning, I'm going to talk about spousal abuse, okay? It's like, to me, and this is just my other crazy analogy, it's like if you punch your spouse in the face while you're saying, forgive me. We're still doing it. We're still upholding and perpetuating systemic racism. It's not the past. People who say it's the past are not paying attention. They don't understand how to look. They need to educate themselves how to look. It's not burning, well, although it was the other day in an article. It's not usually burning crosses on the lawn and using the N-word, okay? It's a system where you're going to be charged much, much higher rates for something than somebody else consistently because they can. you're going to be put in your place, okay, and not given the benefit of the doubt because they can. You're going to be followed around a store, and God forbid you don't buy something because we'll think you're stealing, because that's how our company rolls. Okay, it's a system, it's built in. So anyway, I'm blabbing. Let me continue here. Yeah, Mr. F is Black. I understand what you're saying. T, deep down, I know that racism exists. It just doesn't easily show up, but we know it's there. Well, because we're good at being covert with it, because we know it's wrong. So we circumvent, everything we can. We're sneaky. We deny, we gaslight. What are you talking about? It's like, this is a very complex thing. This is not a simple thing. It seems simple, but no, we have ways. We aren't going to let it go. Jamie, sorry I'm late. My brother, who is a police officer, got. Oh God, Jamie, your brother got shot 16 times at his patrol car, but he's okay. They missed him. Oh my God, I am so sorry. I think that's a pretty good reason to be late. I'm surprised you're even here. I'm so sorry. You'll have to talk to me and call me and tell me what's going on. Wow, that's horrible. I'm so sorry. I'm glad he's okay. Oof. That's pretty huge. Pat, ST Rogers, they will laugh in your face and stab you in the back at the same time. It's so sad. T, hope my brother's okay. Yeah, wow. T, my daughter's birthday is Juneteenth. I use that to teach her even more about history of racism in America. That's awesome. I taught my little girl a little bit about it too. And so maybe, I don't know what other white folks are doing. I hope they are. I hope they're not just going, yay, you have the day off. And they're not. Okay, let's be real. Most white people don't know what Juneteenth is. Sorry, it's the truth. I would guess, if I had to bet, I would guess easily 85% don't know. And it's just because we don't know our own racial history. And it's really not just our fault. It's how we roll. We are whitewashed. If you look at the history in school, they don't tell you anything. You have to take it upon yourself to educate yourself. So, or your parents maybe will, or your relatives will, but there is nothing in American white society that is going to teach us about systemic racism right now, unless we want to. If we put it in schools and a comprehensive from K to 12, one generation, we put the truth in schools for one, it'll take one generation and people will laugh at systemic racism. We have a way to stop it. We just don't want to. People can learn and get it. And that's the beauty of being human. We can actually think and go, that's really messed up. It's wrong and I know it, Anyway, where was I? James, I hope I'm being relevant, but I was surprised to find out who's the real Lone Ranger. You're absolutely being relevant. Absolutely. Yeah, there's so much hidden history. There's Black people were farmers and cowboys, cowmen, or whatever, whatever you want to say. It's in our words, it's like the master bedroom. My God, they're talking about a master. It's like it is incorporated into our culture. We don't even know it. That's the beauty. Who said that? One of the famous anti-racists said that. The beauty of it is that it's like it's not there. It's people equate America with racism. That's how racist it is in America. The Star Spangled Banner, the third stanza is racist. It was written by a man who was racist. He was not an abolitionist. He fought against, in court, people who wanted to abolish slavery. He was on the other side, okay? He was not known historically to be an amazing human being with integrity and all that. People have no clue. that it's a nasty song. We don't usually sing a third stanza, but people, it's crazy. And it's not like your fault if you don't know stuff. It's been hidden, and we've been lied to. White folks have been lied to. I mean, our parents don't tell us, our teachers don't tell us. You have to take it upon yourself to figure it out. And then you have to be able to accept the fact that you've been lied to. And that's a lot to take. And that everything you ever learned and thought was not just wrong, but inhumane. It's a lot. I mean, I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying, I get we're indoctrinated, and we gotta educate ourselves, and then find your voice if you're white and go educate other people. It's the least we can do. Yeah, that's a good, James, excellent point. Critical race truth is what it should be called. Yeah, right. I mean, people trying to make it illegal to tell our own real racial history. Give me a break. I mean, I said in one of my videos, what, 1 + 1 is 3. Somebody gets upset that it's really 2. So now it's gonna be illegal to teach real math. I mean, God, it's ridiculous. Let me see. Ronald, while growing up, I learned that when the white man teaches history, he teaches his story. And therein lies the problem, because it's true. Absolutely. Like they say, history is written by the winner. Well, you know what? You're right. It's our history that we want to be shown. I mean, it's been brutal. I've been doing these videos. I'm creating these 2 top 10 videos of race massacres you've never heard of. Sounds top 10, like it means like the best, but I'm doing top 10 videos. 10 race massacres that were horrific, that most people have never heard of. And I could probably do another one of 10 and another one of 10. It's unbelievable. But then it's believable. Great point. Absolutely. It's been hidden from people. Oh my God, the stuff about it's been just kind of raked over, just barely touched upon. The evil things we've done with voting. I hope people watch the video, not to hurt them, but so that they can realize, like, dang, it's a lot harder to deny what's happening right now if you know the depth and frequency and just the sheer incredible hatred and incredible racism our nation has had. So it's a lot harder to deny what's happening now. Like, oh, the police didn't mean to shoot them. Oh, he didn't shoot them because they were Black. Seriously? If you know the history, so it's imperative we know our history. Absolutely, Ron, totally agree with you. Of course, I was agree with you. Team, white people think white is supposed to be the norm or standard. Yeah, exactly. Pat, Europeans have come here to get what they could not get. They couldn't get in their country. Yeah, I don't know, because I don't know my history that well. But yeah, I mean, T, my children are homeschooled, and I'll be damned if they're going to get a bunch of whitewashed history in public school. But it's interesting. I've always augmented my kids' stuff, always, and I don't need to anymore. They do it on their own. Oh God, they know more than me. They're amazing. Yeah, watch what you wish for. It's like they'll debate me. It's like it's crazy. But yeah, no, it's right. You can't do it. You got to protect your kids. Harper. On my mother's side, I am 2 generations born here. On my father's side, I don't know much, but I have no doubt they were slave owners at one time. I don't have anyone to ask about it. Yeah. You're not responsible. It's so funny because people are like, I shouldn't be held responsible for what the people have. You're not being held responsible. You're being held responsible for right now, for what you see and you watch and you pretend you don't see and you don't give a shit about. It has nothing to do with you're responsible for people in the past. Give me a break. You need to be aware of what happened, how this nation got wealthy and how it got wealthy fast. It's history, people. It's history. Nobody's saying you're responsible for your ancestors and all that, but But and Harper, I know you're not saying that, but people, oh God, today I was really annoyed by some people who were going on and on about that. It's like, get over yourself. It's not about you. I was telling them, like, seriously, doesn't matter when you live here now. Let me see here. Pat, land and resources, and of course, I'm not sure what you're talking about because I took too long to talk. I am so sorry. Harper, I also don't know any names beyond my grandparents. Yeah. James, you always hit the nail on the head. Oh, I love you. Thank you. Thank you. You're awfully kind. Thank you. I do get a little crazy here. That's very sweet. Harper, you know as well as I do that you can make a racist person's head explode with 2 words: white privilege. Oh, hell yes. You can clear a room. People they'll go nuts. They do not like that. We just gotta lower our ego. I think it helps to say, oh, it's not about me. I think it helps white folks to know it's not about us personally. Get over ourselves. It's about a system, and we're living in it, and we're benefiting from it, and we're watching it. And if you're watching and doing nothing, then you are part of the problem. That's all. And I'm hardcore about this. I am. I'm not sweet and darling. But if somebody comes to me and they need sweet and darling, I will give them sweet and darling. Absolutely. One-on-one. Absolutely. I will meet them where they're at. I will answer their questions. I'm not trying to hurt people, but we can't choose white feelings over the barbaric death of our brothers and sisters who are Black, brown, African American, indigenous, and non-white per se. We can't. Our cute, tender feelings cannot matter more than we're killing people. We're killing people. I'm just saying. Okay. Let me see here. Yes, don't say white privilege. People go a little nuts. Pat, if whites go through a third of what Black people have gone through, they would not be able to endure it at all. Absolutely, they would not be able to endure it. No, it's horrible. Suicides would be on the rise. Yeah, I love when. Oh, it's so sweet. T says, Harper, I love when you're on it. That's me. I do. I love both of you guys. I love you guys are amazing. Everybody, seriously. I'm like, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. And I'm going so slow tonight, and I'm going to probably wrap it up soon. So I'll skip some of the other stuff that I was going to do, but I want to get your comments in before we go. Hell, it's already on the rise. Yeah, absolutely. And times are only going to get worse. I think so too. I don't see it now. Honestly, my little rant that was a little bit long, I think that's our only hope, is that he needs to be absolutely, unequivocally, like, let it be known that he's wrong. He is, being charged with criminal offenses, and he's going to have consequences. Like, I think it's the only way to definitively, like, have a chance to get to some of the folks who are brainwashed and who don't know our racial history, who aren't using their critical thinking skills, and who are really defensive. They don't get racism's not good for us either. It keeps us from uniting against the real problem, the economic problem we have in our country. And the wealthiest elites thank us for our service. We're doing their job for them so they can stay filthy rich and we can keep struggling. We're doing it to ourselves. It's kind of pathetic. People know, they just don't care because it's not happening to them. Yeah, it's right. Good point. They just don't have like empathy, or I don't know what. Harper, you're Susie. Just that was meant for you. Sweet. Let me just see here. Let me see. Right, being patriotic is synonymous with being a white supremacist, and it shouldn't be. It's quite the opposite, but that's kind of how we roll. They took the third stanza in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. The man that wrote that was very racist, a white supremacist to the core. I don't know much about that. I should look that up. Very interesting. Mahako is super microaggressive because he assumes that because I'm Black, it automatically means I'm into said things he's talking about. Oh yeah, like walking up to somebody and doing all this like elaborate handshake, like if you're a white person because the person's Black. It's like, no, you don't know. No, there's no monolith. There's no, stop it. That's stereotyping. And yeah, like it's, yeah, very strange. Oh, Tox, hi. I didn't know you're here. Yay. Thank you. I hope you're still here. But Mahako, yes, I cannot imagine. White society props up the racists. Even Billy Irish is apologizing for being racist. As Fox, shake my head. Yeah, I don't follow pop culture, but I saw Billy. Am I saying her name? Eilish? Or I don't know how to say her name, but she's like a singer person. And I'm all proud that I know that. And I saw her over and over again in the pop culture under racism that she's done something, or I don't know what she's done, but she's writing about it and saying sorry about it. So I actually should catch up on it. I'm just terrible at pop culture. Let me see. I am so happy you're here, Thomas. T, I don't even celebrate the 4th of July anymore. I just can't. Yeah, no, me neither. It's actually offensive and insulting. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. No, I just read too much about it. Pat, T. Rogers. Most Black people don't celebrate 4th of July because around that time of the year, slaves were sold or made to go for work for other overseers, and families were split up, and this was very hard. The January 1st, New Year's as well. I've read about that as well. Yeah. And the 4th of July, wahoo, freedom for the white people, independence for the white people. So it's a long story. Anyway, oh, I missed you. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I always do this too. I'm scrolling up. Oh, there we go. I think I found it. Kim, you need to keep stressing that racism is a continuum and that people need to assess where they are on the racism scale. It's getting old saying, well, I'm not racist, my da-da-da is black. Right, yes. And in fact, T, oh my God, I hope that was what I can't believe I skipped that. How did I skip that? What else did I skip? I'm such a dingbat, I swear to God. Anyway, so sorry, God. Glad you said something. That is so huge. In fact, I have like scores of videos on that explaining it's not a yes or no question. It's not. I consider implicit bias, if it's turned into discriminative action, to be the lowest level of racism. So yeah, everybody has implicit bias. So everybody has, I mean, I'm sorry, white folks, we got to be real about this. It's not an insult. I'm racist, okay? I'm going to say it. I'm racist. Not on purpose, but I am. I was born in this culture, okay? And I have implicit bias, okay? And that makes me, might be the lowest level. I don't know. I'm sure there's things that are make me the higher levels too, but you can't be afraid to examine yourself. And that's all you have to do. It's the best you can do. You're going to make mistakes if you're white. Don't be afraid to examine yourself. I have a video that it's called Why I Think All White People Are Racist. Now, people go, oh my God, and they flip out. It's not, it's just kind of a clickbait thing. Okay. No, I don't think all white people are overtly racist. But if you count implicit bias, which is evolutionary, you can't help it. And you were raised in a society that pushes its culture is based on white supremacy, then hell yeah, you have implicit bias. It's not your fault. But now that you're an adult and you can figure out things, you do some introspection. And if you see it, I outline in that video how I had implicit bias. I know exactly how I did. Not everything, but I know like a few pretty good examples. And I outline exactly what I saw as a kid that made me go, I didn't know what I was seeing, but it's subconscious. You're a little kid, you're 3 years old. You drive by a neighborhood that's been redlined over and over again, and you see people who are incredibly impoverished. You see infrastructure that's impoverished. And if they are brown and black and you're white, maybe you subconsciously notice. But there's one, you're 2 years old, but There's just a little edge there that pushes you. You don't know what you're seeing, but your mind takes it in. Okay. Get a few more of those going, and you have been indoctrinated. I always say I'm going to shut up, and I never do. Okay. Oh, now I'm going back. Uh-oh. Thank you. I am going to, I got that right. Gee, that was what? It's like I skipped the best one. Sorry about that. That's so me too. I'm like all over the place. I'm going to say goodnight to everybody. And I cannot thank you enough for being here tonight. I so love having all my friends come and talk and have great questions. And everybody here tonight is absolutely amazing with their questions and comments. And it's really tough. If you're a white person listening, this is not easy to listen to. It's like enough already. But I'm kind of going the opposite of what our society does, because people have to realize that we got to do something about this. Don't just sit and watch. Got to do something, because God knows a ton of people want to keep this, and they will do almost anything to keep it. So you got to be powerful and find your voice if you're white. Sandra, hello. Welcome. We're just wrapping it up, but I'm so happy to see your name. Find your voice if you're a white person. Get confident and use your white privilege to stand up and support, not lead, not so you can get your picture on, social media, but because it's the right thing to do, because we're human. And use your voice to teach other people. Teach other people the truth about our real racial history. And that's all you can do. Then you are doing your part. This is not hard to do. You just do it. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. And Sandra, I'm so glad you stopped by. You're wonderful. I'm going to say goodnight to everybody. And thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. And you guys made my night. All right. So please check out if you want to. And if it's stressful, don't do it. I mean, but if it's something you enjoy doing or whatever, there is about 5 or 6 huge threads on some of the videos that I did a long time ago. And like I said at the beginning, I think I got like 150 new subscribers in the last 2 weeks. I'm so excited about it, or maybe even more. I'm terrible with the stats, but they have major conversations going on my Facebook page, and they are amazing conversations. Thank you. They're amazing conversations. And if you want to get involved, and there's a few people coming in being, jerks, but they're being pounced on. And actually people are incredibly nice to them, a lot nicer than maybe they might technically deserve. But if we can get a chance to, and if you have the energy and the emotional energy to help somebody, I'm in. So they're really cool threads. So check them out. You'll see them. It'll say like a bazillion shares, and you'll be like, okay, that's what she's talking about. Just have to scroll down on the page. So good night, everybody, and please be safe. And it's true, things might be getting a little bit worse before they get better. And so just please be safe. All right. I love you all. Good night. Sweet dreams. Yay. And hopefully I'll see you next Wednesday.